Hey guys, welcome. I hope you guys are doing amazing. Today we are just going to review the different types of cell organelles that we learned so far. The one that you see right here is actually an animal cell and not a plant cell. And the reason why I can tell you that for certain is because number one, there is not a green cell wall that we would have typically seen if there was a plant cell. Let me just scroll down to see what a plant cell looks like. There we go. So as you can see, we see a very thick membrane that is surrounding a cell, and this is a plant cell, and this is what we call a cell wall. Again, this is only present in the plant cells, and that's why we did not see this in the beginning when we were looking at what's its name? The animal cell. So this cell right here does not contain a cell wall. But what a cell wall generally does is that it actually supports the plant cell. It gives protection to it. It does not have anything to do with transportation of molecules whatsoever. It's simply there to give more protection and to make sure it retains its structure throughout its life. And then the next thing that we have, this purple thing that you see right here, is actually something called the cell membrane, this purple outer layer. And it is present in both animals and plants. However, in animals, because they don't have a cell wall, it is the outermost layer. But in plants, because it contains a cell wall, it is the layer that comes below the cell wall. Now, this cell organelle, the cell membrane, is also tasked with providing protection to the plant and animal cell. But in addition to that, there is something else that this does. Do you know what that is? Well, if you guess that it controls the movement of molecules inside and outside of the cell, that's absolutely right. It controls the movement of molecules. It controls what enters the cell and what leaves the cell. Let's look at another organelle. Now, let's look at this big sphere. Now, this big thing that you see here is what's known as a nucleus. A nucleus is one of the most important structures there is within a plant and animal cell. As you can see, it's large, it's spherical, it is typically located in the middle part of the cell, and it also controls whatever activities that are going on within the cell. It's kind of like the head office of the entire plant cell. Like a mayor's office in a city hall. It's very important. It overlooks everything that's going on, but more importantly, it contains genetic information or DNA. And that's what makes us unique. Our DNA is what makes us unique, right? So the nucleus of a plant cell or an animal cell is what contains that genetic information or what contains that DNA. Now, another thing to see. Now, let's look at this yellow surface here. As you can see, these yellow surface are what is known as a cytoplasm. Now, if you remember, cytoplasm once again is found in both animals and plant cells. They're typically very clear. However, they're also very thick and jelly-like in structure. They are located below the cell membrane. As you can see, right after the cell membrane comes the cytoplasm, this yellow structure. What it does is that it protects all the organelles that are present within the cell. So it protects the nucleus, the lysosomes, the mitochondria, all the organelles that are present in a plant or animal cell. Next thing that we have is something called a Golgi apparatus. Now, if you see this orange structure right here, that's actually what you call a Golgi apparatus. Do you know where you can find the Golgi apparatus? Is it just a plant cell or animal cell? Well, if you guessed both, you are absolutely right. It is actually present in both animal and plant cells. They kind of look like a flattened stacks of pancakes that have been put together, or a flattened stack of membranes. And that's what it looks like. But its main function, however, is to actually process and package all of the proteins or lipids that were actually made by this cell. You can think of it kind of like a post office or a UPS center that processes and packages different things that are given to them, right? So the Golgi apparatus is kind of like a post office that processes and packages the different proteins and different lipids that were initially made by the cell. The next thing that we learned about are the smallest organelles that are present in plant and animal cells. Can you guess what it is? Well, let's see. The smallest things that we see right here are these blue little organelles, and they are actually called ribosomes. Once again, they are present in both plants and animals. And they're normally just freely floating in the cytoplasm. But as you can see, there are some of ribosomes that are present in this blue structure, right? These blue structures are called endoplasmic reticulum. So ribosomes can either be freely floating in the cytoplasm or they can be attached to the endoplasmic reticulum. The only thing that these little tiny organelles do is that they provide the plant cells or animal cells with protein. So they produce proteins that is later processed or packaged by this Golgi apparatus right here. So that's what they do. Now, when we were talking about that, we talked about endoplasmic reticulum. So let's talk about the endoplasmic reticulum themselves. Now, endoplasmic reticulum are once again found both in plants and animals. They're kind of like a network of tubes, right? It looks like a network of tubes. And what it does is that it transports materials from one part of the cell to another part of the cell. It kind of is like a city's highway structure or a highway system because it's involved in transportation. Now, there are two types of endoplasmic reticulum. Now, one type is called a smooth endoplasmic reticulum or smooth ER. As you can see, this structure, this part right here is a smooth endoplasmic reticulum. And it's smooth because it does not contain any ribosomes attached to it. On the other hand, this is rough endoplasmic reticulum because it contains those ribosomes attached to it. We also have mitochondria present in both plant and animal cells. And what it does is that it provides the cell with energy. So it breaks down sugar to release a lot of usable energy so that the plant cells can actually function. We also have vacuoles. They are these little yellow blobs that you see here. These are known as vacuoles. These contain or they store food, water, and waste materials. They're fluid-filled sacs. Now, in animal cells, these are small and multiple in number. However, as you can see here, these are very fewer in number in plant cells and also very, very large. So depending on where they are found, they can reduce or increase in number and their size. We also have something called lysosomes, which are these green-like structures. They are not found in plant cells. They're only found in animal cells. But what it does is it's kind of like a recycling center where it digests old parts and breaks down larger food molecules into smaller ones so that it's easier for the cell to process. And finally, we have chloroplast. You cannot see any chloroplasts here because it's an animal cell. Chloroplasts are only found in plant cell. And chloroplasts are typically green structures. Let me show you a brief, you see right here, this is a very accurate picture of what a chloroplast looks like. In a cell, this is where it is, but this is what it looks like in real life through a microscope. They're green and they're oval shaped, as you can already see, and they use the energy from the sun to produce the food and then give it to the plant. And that is all that we learned about. These are the different types of cell organelles that we learned about. And that's all I have for you today. There will be a test on Monday, so be sure to review it. And I will see you guys later. Have a very great weekend, and bye.